What is up, everybody? I finally got my dream team to run over here. We're going to take a look at that. Let's check that out. Here they are. I just think this is such a good combination. First of all, I love the androids, duh. But Ruto just complements them so well, right? Ruto complements them very well, especially if you have name giving. If you have name giving to give out and potentially get Ruto's health very low, so he can die. Let's see, because of, is it Warcry or Paladin? Paladin, nullify flinch for magic attacks. Partial resistance to interruption when activating skills. Defense increase the more damage is taken. No, it's Warcry. When taking damage from enemies' attacks that target all, damage to unit plus 100, damage to allies minus 50%. I think that's huge for the androids. They don't have that high of hit point pools. They do have high defensive stats. They really do. They're pretty tanky. They are androids. They just don't have super high hit point pools. So this is nice. This takes stress off of them with big AoEs, right? They're going to take less damage while this guy's around, and he can definitely take it, right? But here's where it gets good. When unit is incapacitated, defense and mind plus 50% and physical flinch null buff on all enemies. Let me read that very, very last part to you. Physical flinch null buff for all allies. That is absolutely huge for A2. I think that is one of the biggest things for her, is her kit rips. It absolutely shreds and destroys, but you can interrupt it. I highlighted somebody else's vid where she was just, running around, cranking shit out. The thing is, that whole video of her just wrecking, she was using her S3. It was her S3 to get her around. Right, because her S1 and S2, the ones with the actual damage cap on them, they're easier to interrupt. They're easier to interrupt, and it seems like that's really what she smashes with in her kit. If you can get somebody into, just dropping your S1 on them a couple of times, it's going to wreck, but she has to line herself up with the enemy on the screen. She's not doing no diagonal spin attack. It just is what it is, so you do kind of have to set her up. So, obviously, giving physical flinch resistance to a character like that might just be all the difference in the world, where you're fighting a boss that is potentially flinching you and getting in the way of you throwing your 60,000 damage cap attacks and actually getting some of them in. I mean, I just think that is just such a good combo, especially because, well, he also fits the other criteria. He's a humanoid, so they get a buff from that. And one of them gets a buff when somebody in the party dies anyway, so this would cover that and unlock that buff, right? This guy can also obviously take some aggro off of them potentially with Anchor Raid. And then, he can be used as he's supposed to be used, obviously, aggro everything, and then use invincibility. The other thing I like, too, about him, I have him set up as a healer, but what I like about him is he can heal himself with invincibility, which means that he can save his God heal for the other heroes in the party, right? I don't have that much MP on him. That is the one thing that, if I had him at 100 SC right now, at least 10 or 12 of it would go to MP. That is what I would do with with this build right here, right now. So he's still in the works, but he, I figured I'd give him a shot as a healer on my account, and I think he's going to work wonders with these girls. They just seem to be pretty much made for each other. So that's really all I need this guy to do. Is use, where is it? Oh wait, no, it's a spell. There it is. Name giving, right? Every time he uses name giving, there's half of his health. So if he uses it 2 times in a row, right, and he tags both of the androids with a nice buff, really nice buff to all their stats instantly, He instantly goes down to like super low health. I could probably get him to die, and then he will go ahead and proc the buffs on the other characters, you know. And then this guy can come back. Obviously, he has no problem doing that. And then he can just tank it out for the rest of the fight. The issues I've been seeing with him is I do have to keep up on the name giving. So it all just comes down to MP for me. I'm going to do something where magic points are more manageable for this guy. But, I mean, he doesn't have a bad build. I do have the Zelbus Blade on him, which, you know, I think it actually helps a little bit with the healing because of the intelligence on it. That's really why it's on him. The Golden Armor, I have the Thunder Stop on him right now because I was running the androids around with this guy, and I was actually fighting the giant robot that has the arm for Ray, the claw weapon. I hadn't been in there for a while, and I was doing okay. I actually got him down to a sliver of his health before I got wiped, and that's when I realized that bringing A2 to that fight was a complete waste because she wasn't doing any damage at all because that thing has like 200 holy resistance. So the whole fight, my A2 was just hitting for 1 damage, which is kind of cool because then that means that this 2B, which I just got to level 101 today, and I got that awesome sword boost from this ward. Yes, sir, we do have 100 damage cap to our swords. The point being is this girl pretty much then did like damn near all the damage in order to kill the machine boss, and that was fairly wicked. I just kind of went in there with the build that I have right now. I didn't I might have changed a few simple things around. I obviously left Machine Slayer on her, but for the most part it's just what I've been rocking. And she just did tons and tons of damage there. Her attack is non-stop. She gets the chain count up. Right, obviously I couldn't go in there with experience up, but hey, what are you gonna do? She absolutely rocked it. I think a lot of people are very pleasantly surprised with 2B's performance just as you really start working on her. I mean, this girl has her charms too, right? It's not just like, hey, it's 2A, the damage monster. You know, a lot of people, I could see them calling this collab for 2B and saying she's the cooler one. So they did a really good job, is all I'm saying. Like, 2B is definitely not left in the dust at all. She has her own play style. It's something that I quickly noticed when I started doing the benchmarks, right? Now, I'm sure I could take 2A back into that level right now, and she could probably just clear everything with her kit and with her super high damage cap, especially with their S3. But it just seemed that like this girl had an easier time of it. She's faster. She can actually hit and run. And the biggest thing she has is the teleport. That teleport is the shit. It's one thing to charge your enemy, but to literally blink out of existence and then blink back into existence above your enemy's head gets rid of all the travel literally across the screen. So it's like ultimate. You can run her to any corner of the screen that you need to, or anywhere, in order to avoid damage or avoid some AoE or something. And no matter where you end up, you just drop that S3 and boom, you're right on top of the enemy's head doing tons of damage. And then from there you can piece together S1s and 2s until it's dead. It just works out so well for her. The teleport is just the creme de creme. Obviously the S4 is great on this girl. And speaking of which, if we're talking about S4s, we got to talk about A2. She's also obviously in this party. What do I think about this girl? Yeah, she's fun. It's risky playing her because if you get interrupted, you can waste a lot of damage. But, you know, when you can connect with her, it's pretty awesome. She's the biggest factor why Ruto is here. Really, because of that flinch resistance, I feel like I can really let this girl rip. And she'll take some damage, but it's not going to stop her from spinning and hitting people for 50,000 damage apiece. So I still need a little bit more time to play with this girl. I have some abilities on her now. She's what? She's at 74. She's at 74. What's really funny is you get used to the damage cap on this girl just being absolutely ridiculous with her ability kit. Her S4, even though she gets it all the time, it really doesn't, like, the damage cap on the S4 is not as nice as the damage cap in her kit. So it's just like some AoE damage, and most of it is really the buff that you're getting. Like, I haven't seen a ton of damage out of the S4, but obviously that buff that she gets then makes up for that, because, well, what I do is I save up her kit until it's pretty much full, and then I drop the S4, and then when I get a huge damage boost and damage cap boost, I have my whole kit to throw over and over and over again. And with the monstrous numbers that this girl pops up, like, shit just tends to go down, especially if you can actually get her kit to go off. So, yeah, it plays very well with Ruto. Gets some stat bonus just from having another human in the party. What is it called? Humanity's Hope? You know, just stuff like that. And she does get a buff, too, when somebody, dies. That's why I was trying to see if I could do anything with the OS chip for 2B. Because it just made sense to me. You would run them in a party together, the kit just kind of hints at it, but I guess it is what it is. I'll gladly take a different way there. It's really no big deal anyway, because I realized, this guy is literally perfect to fulfill that. And why not? I need to run a healer. I set this guy up with just enough buffs for these girls for some boss's threshold or something like that, and then, like I said, concentrate his magic points on throwing god heals. Ultimately, though, I wish I had more SC for this guy. I really do. It's kind of like a huge limitation right now, and I just don't even know where to get those, short of pulling more of this character, which, man, that's really tough. At least with 2A, what are we at? I think we're at like a plus 12 or something like that. Let's see. Oh, we're at a plus 14. So we could potentially get this girl, actually close to her toppest tier build, you could say. With this girl, that wasn't the case. I didn't really pull that many dupes of her. I'll be honest with you guys, I think she was... Oh, which one of these girls? I did an extra pull just to get the guaranteed character. just to get 2 more SC on them. Obviously, it wasn't this girl. She's at a plus 8. But I still leveled her up to the 100 threshold. Obviously, I think it's just worth it just to get that damage cap to swords, just because, everybody uses a freaking sword. But really, I was going to hold out with the materials that I did have and use them on this girl. Let's see how far. Actually, you know what? That's not that bad. That's not that bad. I'm going to be able to make this happen, at least by the time she gets to level 100. I was actually kind of worried about this. I wasn't sure if they actually shared some of the resources that you needed. So this is kind of cool that they spread these out, because there's no way in hell I would... There's no way that I thought I would even have, short of these feathers that I just need 4 of. This is feasible. So I just need to get this girl to 100, get a couple of these feathers, and obviously looks like we're going to be selling some fish. Speaking of fish, everybody, make sure to go in there and fish and get enough fish, right, in order to craft all the items. Maybe you don't care about the items. Hate to each their own, but just don't forget, you do need fish in order to level up the items from this event. So, best of luck to everybody. We still got time left. We still have dailies. Your boy's still doing dailies. I'm still straight up doing dailies on both of these girls, just on the off chance that I could get a dupe. That is just how good I think they are and how much fun I have playing them, going back and forth between them. I'll get some content out. I'm trying to decide actually just what I want to go fight. But yeah, because against the robot, I realized I'm like, yeah, A2 was just like a waste to bring here. But at the same time, I was like, well, that means that 2B is literally like doing all the work here, and it's a lot of work to be done. So the girl can definitely get her ass in gear. She's just all over the place spamming damage. So yeah, I'm gonna have to find something. I'm sure I can find something to fight where A2 can just drop some heavy claymore blows and really show off that awesome damage cap. So I'll go work on that. Best of luck to everybody, but relax, you still got time. Peace.